Welcome back to my channel. My name's Laura Bruno and I'm an intuitive astrologer. Today we're going to talk about the difference between personal and collective transits. This is a question that I get a lot in sessions, but it's also a question that I probably should get actually more often than I do. There's so much misunderstanding about this, and I find that people don't even realize that they are confused about it. So hopefully today's video will help to clarify the difference, but also why it's important to pay attention to both. So first of all, for collective transits, that's talking about what is happening in the sky right now. So what is Pluto doing with Jupiter? What is Mars doing with Venus? What's happening kind of if we just took a snapshot of the sky, what's doing what relative to who? And so those are collective transits. Those are the kinds of things that you'll read about in, say, a monthly astrology report, or even a new moon or a full moon report. That's, again, looking at what is happening in the sky right now. And one of the reasons that that's important is that's kind of collective zeitgeist. That's like your finger on the pulse of humanity right now, kind of which directions are we trending. That's helpful to know if you're a creator, if you've got content that you want to put out, if you are writing a book and trying to figure out, okay, in the coming months or years, what sorts of topics might be extra important for humanity. You can actually tell that sort of thing by looking at the collective transits. It kind of gives you a flavor of the age. This is also important even if you have no intention of putting out any kind of content. It just helps to have a sense of what's the general energy around you. Especially if you're an empath, you're affected by this even if your natal chart is not personally pinged by any of these transits. There's a high likelihood that the people that you're interacting with will have something going on, and if you're an empath, that kind of becomes your stuff, or at least it feels like it. Check out below the link to the good energy hygiene video, because that does help with this. But in general, it's just helpful if you realize, oh, there's a lot of tension happening and people may be a little more on edge. That's useful information to know. Maybe you don't want to go shopping that day, or maybe you find that you are the beacon of peace in the grocery store when all the people around you are kind of at each other's throats. So collective transits, kind of like your pulse on what's going on, taking the pulse on what's going on in the general world. And then personal transits are, how do these things affect you personally? So they're kind of like what they sound like they are. You're not going to get that from a general astrology report unless you happen to know, okay, I have these planets at these degrees, and then you're kind of calculating in your own mind what's happening to you. But that means that you actually know more about astrology than most people do. So for the vast majority of people, when they get that kind of collective astrology report, they don't have any idea how this affects them. They might say, oh, I'm a Leo and this is happening in Leo, so therefore, oh my gosh, it's going to be a disaster today. And that may not even be true, even if you were personally affected by this transit, because we can kind of choose which level do we interact with these energies. But more than likely, you might not actually have a tight aspect or angle. You might not have a real experience with these energies. So for example, in March of this year, Pluto is moving into Aquarius. So people who have something at, say, 0 to 3 degrees Aquarius, they're going to feel that. That's going to be a real personal whammy, depending on which planet it is or which spot in your chart it hits, and also your level of consciousness. How will you experience this? But that is a big deal. However, if you have something in Aquarius at, say, 20 degrees Aquarius, while you may feel the collective impact of Pluto moving into Aquarius, you're not going to be personally touched by that in a real intense way unless you have something also earlier in the sign of Aquarius. If you're 20 degrees out from something, actually someone who has a placement at say 28 or 29 Capricorn is going to feel it more, even though it's in a different sign, just because it's closer. So we have different angles in astrology. A square is 90 degrees, an opposition is 180 degrees, and we talk about orb of influence. And generally the orb of influence is about 5 degrees on either side. For really, if somebody has a lot going on, I look at within a 3-degree orb, just because you're really going to notice the intensity there. I also really pay attention to 0-degree aspects. So if something's like 0 degrees 10 minutes or 0 degrees 2 minutes, that's a very, very tight hit, and you're going to feel that more. And when I say 0 degrees, that's also like if we're at 90 degrees, so if we have a square, then a 3-degree aspect would be like 93 degrees or 87 degrees. And so we're talking plus or minus on either side of whatever's going on. And again, these things are hard to just know unless you are pretty intimate with your own natal chart. You probably don't know all the different degrees and how everything interacts in your chart. And so I always get a little sad when somebody takes a monthly prediction and makes it so personal that they're giving their power away to it, and it may not even have anything to do with them other than we're all swimming in this same cosmic soup. So that's just a little extra insight on the difference between personal and collective transits. Again, both are important. Whether you believe in astrology or not, we are affected by these energies kind of in the same way that the ocean tides are affected by the moon. Like there's a push, a pull effect on us, and we'll feel it. But how we feel it really depends on kind of the flavor of the energies. And so if you think about it like those chef shows where they're given a challenge, like, okay, you're gonna make something. These are the ingredients that you have at your disposal. Chocolate, chili powder, a little bit of sugar, go. And what somebody does may radically be different, right? Someone could make a mole sauce out of that. Another person could make like a tiramisu and then just have a little chili powder on top. Somebody else could make Mexican hot chocolate. So there's flavors of ingredients, but even in the event that you are affected by all of that, you can still make different things with it. And the more that you study these kinds of transits, both the collective and the personal, and how they affect you, the better you're able to kind of strategize for when are your opportunities coming, when is it a good idea to kind of lay low, when do you want to meditate. It just helps you to go with the flow, and then you have kind of extra rocket fuel to help you with your goals, to help you move forward, and there's just less frustration. So lots more information on my blog that's linked below, but it's asklaurabruno.com. And also, if you do have something at 0 degrees Aquarius or somewhere near there, there is a video on Pluto entering Aquarius. All right, that's all for today. I hope you have a good one. All right, bye.